Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for taking time out of your busy weekend to join us. Our webinar is called Fast Track to Top School, Dream Major and Career, and I'm super excited about our presentation today. There's a lot to cover. We're going to have a lot of great information on how to navigate through high school, as well as what to do to prepare and apply for college. We'll have a guest speaker that's been through this process, as well as their parent. And we also have a panel of mentors that'll talk a bit about their experiences. So let's get started. Okay, so just a little bit about our organization. We're an educational academy that focuses on helping students, mainly from grade 9 to 12, find their passion, discover their major and career interests, as well as try to get to their dream schools and achieve lifelong success. My name is Ulrich. I am an electrical engineer. I graduated from San Jose State University, and I've competed in many competitions internationally. I've run robotics clubs and was president of the middle school, high school, as well as IEEE club in college. I've received recognition from our Congressman Mike Honda, as well as Senator Barbara Boxer, for our efforts in trying to share robotics and educate the younger generation. We have two other, I'm also in charge of the Y Engineering wing of yAcademy, and I'm a co-founder. We also have two other presenters here today, Agnes and Irene. They're also the co-founders of yAcademy, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Agnes. I graduated from Columbia University, majoring in operations research. I'm the co-founder of yAcademy, and I'm also going to teach Y business class. I have extensive experience in business analysis and strategy consulting. Also, I have led my team into top 3 in Bain's consulting competition, and my startup idea received the Best Innovation Award in ABC Consulting Group's Social Challenge competition. The reason why I want to start this yAcademy is I personally changed my major 3 times in college. So I have academic background and work experience in both business and engineering fields, and eventually it takes me like years to confirm my interest is still in business field. So I really wish someone can help me understand this earlier back into high school, so I won't waste time and effort exploring this by myself. So I'm happy to meet you guys all today.
Thank you, Agnes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Irene. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Eric.
Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm Irene. I completed my bachelor's in pharmaceutical science at Purdue University with a minor in chemistry. So during my time at Purdue, I worked on an academic project simulating drug research and development for non-small cell lung cancer, and it provided practical insight into the drug development process. I also participated in mock investigation of a drug IND application for treating schizophrenia, gaining knowledge on the regulatory aspect of drug development, and working at early stage biotech startup accelerators, also experiencing formulating PCR diagnostic tests for COVID-19, all familiarized me with industry standards such as FDA regulation and CGMP. So I'll be responsible for the science sector and to help, students to really know what composes of this big industry. And with that, I'll give it back to Eric to continue. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Irene. Agnes. Just a little bit about our name. We're called yAcademy. Our name is actually a play on the word why. We really believe that we want to help our students find their why and their passion. And once they find their why, they can understand why they need to study so hard and why they are doing what they're doing. So we're very lucky to have a couple guest speakers today. One is an admitted NYU student. He's going to be joining NYU in the fall. His name is Sean. You can say hi, Sean. Yeah, and we also have his mom here to talk a little bit about her experiences helping Sean through the process. We also have 3 other mentors. One is Jason, April, and Lynn. They all went to top universities, UPenn, Yale, and Duke, and they're here to share a little bit about their experiences going through college and what they've done through their careers. So here's the agenda for today. Like I said, we're lucky to have Sean and Inan here to share their experiences. Once they share their experiences, we're going to see how their experiences have been faced by other high school students. We're going to talk a little bit about the path from high school to college, and we can talk about how yAcademy can make this process a lot less painful. And at the end, we'll have our mentors speak a little bit, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So we have actually a lot of information to go through. We'll try our best to go through it quickly. Okay, so I'd like to extend a warm welcome to Sean and Inan. Sean is an admitted NYU student, and I'll let him take over the mic and give a little self-intro.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm a current senior at Monte Vista High School, and I'll be attending NYU in the fall. A couple of things about me throughout high school. I was a part of the DECA Business Club, and then I also attended multiple competitions, both in state and international. And I've also finaled in a couple of the competitions. Last year, I was a marketing intern at Toronto Wireless, and I'm also a student ambassador at yAcademy.
Hi, my name is Inan Sun. I'm Sean's mom. I'm a current technical program manager at Bay Area startup, and I was a software engineer before.
Awesome. So thank you, Sean and Inan. Very warm welcome. So we actually prepared some questions for Sean to kind of answer. The first question we had was, what major will you be studying in college?
Yeah, so I originally applied for the College of Arts and Science at NYU, but I was accepted for the alternative program called Liberal Studies. And this program is basically focused on creating a more well-rounded student. So technically, I'll be undeclared for the first 2 years, and the classes I'll be taking are more focused around creative writing, arts, and basically just reading analysis. And then after my 2 years, in my junior year, I can declare a major in one of NYU's 10 schools. And in the third year, I'll be planning to take something business or finance related.
Awesome. So NYU is pretty well known for these areas. What did you do in high school to kind of get into NYU?
Yeah, so because I knew near my junior year that I wanted to pursue business, before that, I joined the DECA Club, and I was also a mentor within the DECA Club. And through DECA, I basically learned just the basics of business, such as creating presentations, presenting information from our judges, and also just overall improving my speaking skills, my presentation skills, and overall just learning about business and what I wanted to do in the future. And because of that, throughout the summers, after junior year and after sophomore year, I decided to do a variety of internships, such as the one at Toronto Wireless. This helped me gain real life experience and helped me get a clear path on what I wanted to do, and also helped boost my college application.
Awesome. So it seems like you've done a lot of preparation during high school to discover what you want to do in the future. And that kind of helps guide what you want or what you apply to.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Now I think everybody knows when you go through high school, it's a long process. And of course, you have some help from your parents. Can you kind of describe what your mom did to help you through this process and what your parents can do to help guide you?
Yeah, so going into my freshman year of high school, I still wasn't too clear on what I wanted to do. So obviously, I went to my parents and I asked them, like, what did I want to do in high school and whether or not it aligned with my interests I had currently. And because of that, both me and my mom, we figured out certain things that we could sign up for, such as summer camps, business camps, and these kind of just helped hone in on the focus on what I wanted to do in high school. And my mom can go in depth on that.
Okay, great. Thank you for the perspective from the students' point of view. We also are lucky enough to have Inan here. I think we can hand over the mic to Inan to describe some of her experiences. We actually, when we first invited Inan to this talk, she was super excited to share her experience and she made some slides to talk about it. And here are some of the slides that she has, right?
Yep.
So
yeah. Could you please go to next page,
yes.
Eric? Yeah. Okay. So I want to actually describe the whole thing on Sean's, high school and to the college from different angle, from parent angle. So when Sean was born, I was thinking he was born as like an engineer because both me and his dad are engineer. So he should have the gene like us, right? And also he's good at math, logical, ask question, resolve question. He's pretty good at it. And the most important thing is that he actually very detail oriented, and also he loves video games. So we think, okay, he's born as an engineer. Next page, please. Yeah, but after we thought like this, we met our first dilemma. So we went to high school. We saw, okay, to be an engineer, what kind of class do we have to pick? So I actually made a table like the right-hand side. 1 second. So it shows different path, and it will go to different class we need to take to become engineer. So we went through this. We were pretty happy about the class we picked, and then we think, okay, now we know what class we should take, so we are on the right track. Next page, please. Okay, so now we met the dilemma number 2. So Sean told us he doesn't want to be an engineer anymore. So I just want to let all parents know, when your kid told you something like this, the first reaction is not panic, but support your kid. So we ask ourselves, now what? Do we want to revisit all the career paths? And also, we are not familiar with those, the career path, not engineering. So we had to find some expert to help us. Next page, please. So I actually found some friend who's a specialist to, other career path, and he also explained different paths to my son, Sean. And based on that, we actually adjust the class we were taking, and also we adjust the extracurricular activities. So that Sean mentioned DECA and different things. So same thing, rule of thumb, you have to support your kid. If that's his interest thing, that's where his interest is. Next page, please. So now is the time for Sean to apply for college. So it's our dilemma number 4. How do we apply for college with his interest in? So I think during the overall high school year, Sean already demonstrated where his interest is, and what he could do to explore where his interest is, and what he could do to demonstrate he's good at his interest. And because of doing that, so he showed to the college that he's good at it. He knows his interest is there, and how also he's good at it, because he has the confidence that he could do it. So the college has confidence that he could do it too. So finally it works. He went to his dream school. He's pretty happy about that. So we actually overcame the dilemma we actually experienced, and then we got a good result.
Thank you for the story, Inan. It seems like it was a very wonderful, but Sean is very lucky to have a parent that has so much logical reasoning and problem-solving skills. I think this experience kind of highlights a lot of the common questions that we discovered when we talked to students in the area. We took these questions and kind of categorized them into 4 buckets. The first bucket is kind of what you mentioned before, unclear interest. So a lot of high schoolers, they go through school and they don't understand why they're taking these courses and what these courses can do for them in the future. And as I go through these questions, maybe you as parents or students can think about if these questions resonate with you as well, right? So first, you have unclear interest. You're not sure why you're taking these classes. Next, since you're not sure why you're taking these classes, you don't actually really know what kind of major you want to apply for college. you run into a problem where what if your parent thinks that you should study a certain major, but your student doesn't want to study the same major? How do you reconcile this, right? In addition, what type of knowledge and skills do we need to prepare for our major in the future? A third bucket would be a career. What kind of career outcomes are there for different majors? What we mean by this is what's your career path going to be like after you graduate? Another thing that we notice high school students don't really understand is what the daily routine of a career does. As an engineer, what do you do on a day-to-day basis, not just in general? It's understanding what people want to do every day. And the fourth bucket we found is the college application process, right? What schools are good for what majors? Different schools have different strengths for different majors. And how can I write a convincing essay to get me into that school for that particular major? So these are the kind of questions, common questions that we've came up with. We actually have some statistics that Irene helped compile. I'm going to pass the mic on to her to talk about some of the challenges that high school students face and some statistics behind that.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Inan and Sean, for sharing your experiences. Sean was able to find what he wanted to do in college, but I would like to discuss the challenges many other students, unlike him, are facing right now. It is an important decision that can be often overwhelming when you are confronted to many different majors in colleges and leave students uncertain about their career paths. So let's explore some of these statistics conducted by Lucian on this topic. First bullet point, 67% of students are feeling overwhelmed when selecting the major. Additionally, 2 in 3 students lack confidence in their career paths upon enrolling in college. This uncertainty can create anxiety and impact their educational experience. On the third bullet, the study reveals that 33% of the students are unsure which major aligns with their chosen career paths. This lack of clarity can hinder their academic and professional development. And lastly, 51% of students have changed their major at least once, indicating the evolving nature of their interests. However, frequent changes can prolong their time in college and result in additional financial burdens. Let's go to the next slide, please. So when you're facing all these challenges, there are 2 consequences for not knowing what you signed up for. Your child will need extra tuition and extra time required to graduate. So it is very important to confirm your interest first before you dive into college. Otherwise, you'll be confronted with extra burden on your shoulder without a clear direction. So on the chart at the right side, it describes the average cost of college tuitions. The green bar and the black and the gray represents a tuition without a major change, 1 major change, and 2 major changes. So the key takeaway here is that obviously in-state college tuition is often the cheapest option out there. However, if your child had 2 major changes in an in-state college, your total tuition cost can end up being over $15,000 than that of a typical private school. So, and your kid might have to graduate 1.7 years longer than the typical 4 years to gain a bachelor's degree. Next slide, please. So the consequences of not finding passion is lack of fulfillment and satisfaction in one's work. However, when one individual do discover their passion, it can lead to personal fulfillment, success, and increased achievement. So according to a study conducted by Deloitte, 80% of full-time US workers are not passionate about their work. Finding passion is very tricky. We've all been there, but once a student does, they can achieve success. So according to the chart you see below, it's a little bit tricky. Let me explain it to you quickly. So the numbers at the bottom, you see 5 to 40, that represents the scores in achievement tests, such as AP, SAT, and general class exams. And on the left hand, you will see science, math, and reading. These are the different fields of studies. Labeled in the red under collectivistic, that's a group of students who are studying because they are being told to study without a clear direction. Individualistic, the blue parts represent students who are self-motivated to study because they're interested and have passion for that. So obviously you can see the blue line here are scoring higher in each of these categories, no matter it's science, math, or reading. So the key takeaway here is really the passion is the ultimate prediction for higher achievement, with 1 unit increase in passion contributing to 22.67 more points in standardized achievement tests. I know it's tricky, and if your child is interested in what they do, they will be surely motivated to accomplish these goals based on their own passions. Now I will give it back to Eric to continue this presentation.
Thank you, Irene. So these statistics are great, but in order to know what the students' future will be like, we want to talk a little bit about the path that they'll go through in the future. So every high school student, their goal is to kind of go through high school and then try to apply to college. We put together a diagram to show how the path through college will be, and we separated it into 3 main categories. When you go through college, you want to focus on your coursework. You also want to focus on some college life, which includes extracurriculars, as well as career preparation. So after college, you most likely want to find a job, or you may start applying for graduate school. When we look at the diagram and we start putting items into the chart, you'll start to notice that during the junior year of college, your schedule actually becomes really packed and it becomes very stressful and difficult. So the key takeaway is over time, if you go through the regular course of college years, your coursework, your college life, and career preparation, all of them hit during junior year. We went ahead and labeled the major areas in that time frame. So points A, B, C, and D. This is when you start to specialize, when you participate in club competitions, and when you decide on a specialization. So in order to make life a little easier for your student, you can actually kickstart this process by using your high school years to extend the timeline. So you can see on the left-hand side, there's a whole blank space that you can actually move some of these items to. So we went ahead and filled out those items, and you can see we shifted a lot of the items actually left back to high school years. So for example, point A, you start discovering what relevant classes and relevant majors you're interested in. C is where you start participating in clubs that you're interested in. And D would be trying to decide a career direction ahead of time. As you can see, this kind of graph shows that it's not that difficult once you start incorporating high school years into the equation. So here's a quick diagram. There are a lot of words on the screen. I'm just going to summarize it really quickly. But we have 2 situations. These are students that we know. The first student, they weren't sure what to study, and they actually applied to college as a mechanical engineer, and they got in as a mechanical engineer. When they went to college, they discovered that their physics and chemistry wasn't as strong as they imagined, and also they didn't really have interest in those fields. But his friends all were studying coding, and he actually learned that he really likes computer science. So he switched majors to computer science and eventually ended up as a software developer in the industry. This in comparison to student B, which discovered these topics in high school. He joined some clubs. He learned that he had an interest in computer science ahead of time. He applied straight to computer science during his college application, and then he went straight through school, got internships in computer science, and moved on to large software development firms with a return offer before he even graduated. So moving this timeline ahead of time helps these students know what they want to do earlier on and helps make their path a lot smoother. So now that we talked a little bit about some of the problems and challenges that high school students face, I'm going to pass the mic to Agnes. She's going to talk about how yAcademy can assist in this process and make your students' life a little easier.
Thank you, Eric. So hi, everyone, again, I'm Agnes. And I think from the previous example, we have all learned that college application process is not only like applying and going to school, but you need to start early to think about what is your interest and what major you want to study, and also be clever about the strategies of applying to college. So yAcademy is offering a one-step ultimate solution to help students to know why and what to study. Second, understand the career outcomes and what the real world work environment be like. Thirdly, set their goals and design their roadmap. Lastly, perform better in their schoolwork and extracurricular activities. And in the end, it turns to the result that we can help them land an offer from their dream school and ideal major. So look at the graph below. No matter which step you are currently at, struggling to find your major interest, or you want to learn more about a specific subject, or even you're looking for some activities which can help you with your college application, we are here to help. Next slide, please. So step 1, find your passion. So if you are in the early stage of deciding your direction or shopping for your majors, we can offer first a free major and career test to help you evaluate from which subjects you like and dislikes, hobbies and clubs you're interested at, and some questions about personality traits to see how you handle different situations and interact with people. Then we will match the students with one of our top mentors, and they will help you create a tailored list of majors and career paths that align with your skill sets and interests. Thirdly, like these mentors will ask students to research more about these majors. At the same time, we provide a lot of free resources about schools, majors, courses, and careers to help you make up your mind. And more importantly, like this whole step, it's all free. Next slide. So once you have confirmed your interest, or you started with already have a specific field you want to explore more in your mind, you are more than welcome to join our exploratory courses. We currently offer these exploratory courses in 3 fields. The first one is science. It is for students who are interested in biology, chemistry, and pharmaceutical science. We also have engineering courses for students who are thinking about having a major in engineering fields like mechanical, industry, electrical engineering, or computer science. And we have this business course for students who are interested in business majors like finance, accounting, economics, marketing, business analytics, and so on. In all of these courses, we will introduce different majors and career paths in the field, prepare them with the fundamental knowledge and skill sets in the field, and practice the knowledge they learned from the capstone project. The more, we will also teach some very useful skills like building their resume and creating a professional LinkedIn profile, which could help them land an internship offer early in high school. Next slide. So besides our exploratory courses, we also offer a one-on-one mentoring service to help students with their major selection, college preparation, and subject tutoring. So we have mentors network from more than 30 top schools in the United States and around the worldwide. You can match our mentor service by schools your kids want to go to, learn about the secret tips of preparing their application essays, the school life, and the course offerings at that particular school. Or you can also match our mentor service by subjects or fields you are interested at. So according to your demand, we will find mentors who have education background and work experience in that field to help your kids understand the knowledge, skills needed for that major, prepare them with the related coursework, and plan the career paths for them. Next slide. So today, we have invited 3 of our popular mentors working in different fields. They are Jason, April, and Lynn. Let's welcome them and hear their interesting college and career stories. So do you want to go ahead first, Jason?
Okay, thank you, Agnes, for a kind introduction. My name is Jason. I just received my master this year in electrical engineering from UPenn. During my master study, I explored a lot of integrated circuit design, and I found myself really interested in that. So I was I'm about to join a startup in Bay Area, focusing on the front end RTL circuit design for their Wi-Fi baseband processor chips. And I'm really happy to join the yAcademy as an engineering mentor. I think I'm also willing to bring some of my understanding of engineering majors and give those students who show their interest in engineering fields, how engineering should look like, and some basic like intuition and sense of engineering majors. Okay, thank you so much for that.
April, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll take it from there. Hi, everyone. I am April, and I am an architecture designer based in New York. I went to, my undergrad was at UC Berkeley, majoring in architecture, and I went to the 3-year master program at Yale for architecture master degree after that. And last year, I graduated from my master and moved to New York to start my career in the architecture field in one of the top 3 architecture firm. I'll be covering any topics related to art, design, and I've also had several years of experience helping students with their art and architectural portfolio application to top college and master degree programs. And I'd be happy to answer any question related to college life. So please feel free to reach out. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Ling.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Ling. I graduated at Duke University with a major in financial technology. So when I was undergraduate, I double majored in business and law. However, gradually I found that I'm more interested in the quantitative field and technology. So I decided to change my major to financial technology in my graduate study. So in the past, I had multiple internships in both traditional financial industry like asset management and a fintech startup company as data scientist. And currently I work for one of the top 3 credit rating agency as a model developer specialized in structured finance. So that's all about myself. Thanks.
Thank you, Lynn, for sharing your story. And thank you, April and Jason. This is awesome experience. So let's move to the last step, take it in action. So exploring your interest and designing your plan is not enough. More important thing is like how we execute the plans. So after students confirm their major interests and they want to join some activities which can help them stand out from thousands of college applications, we here also provide different activities holding by industry experts, previous winner of competitions, and tenured professors. For example, if you're interested in business, then you won't miss DECA or FBLA, the Future Business Leader of America. We have experienced coaches and previous competition winners to help you succeed in this competition. And for engineering, you can join our first robotics competition bootcamp and get help from mentors working in college robotics lab. And we also collaborated with professors working in Stanford lab to offer scientific research for students interested in biochem. And we have art portfolio design project for arts major students. So attending these activities, you can gain meaningful experience, which you can write in your application essay. And you have chances to receive recommendation letters from top school professors. More importantly, you will help yourself prepare with competitive advantage than your peers and get a head start in your career life. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about us, yAcademy. We are a young team and we just started, but we have very strong educational background, industrial expertise, and passionate about education. So instead of a regular academy, we are more willing to describe ourselves as a connection point to connect students with top schools and their alumni, industry experts, tenured professors, and famous institutions. Next slide. So we selected every mentor in our team very careful, not only from their education and work experience, but also all of our team members share a common experience, which we have all been struggled with the process of understanding our own passion, but end up finding it and achieving success in our own field. So we understand all the problems and concerns current middle and high schoolers are facing, and we are more than happy to help them find their way. Next slide. So within our team, we have very different and distinguished backgrounds and expertise. We have mentors who's engineers, financial analysts, lawyers, scientists, and art designer to make sure no matter what your kids are interested at, we can find someone to help them. We also have some connections from top schools like Stanford, Columbia, Duke, Yale, from their students, organizations, clubs, and we offer research opportunities to best support students' dream to top schools. And next slide. I think that's all we have for today's webinar, and it comes to our Q&A session. Feel free to ask us any questions you might have. And if you have any particular question for a mentor, you can just say their name. We also gathered like some questions before this webinar, like what's the common questions everyone will have? Can you put to next slides? Or...
Yeah. Actually, before we do that, sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize. I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I know some people arrived late, so if you guys want the presentation, we can send the deck out and we can always talk to you individually. Just let any of our mentors know. Also, I think everyone has privileges to speak. I have control if I can mute you, but if you want to ask a question, you can feel free to raise your hand or just unmute your microphone. If there aren't any questions, we can continue to the pre-prepared questions. Okay, so I guess we can continue to the questions. Are you there, Agnes?
Oh, I thought you were going to cover the question.
Oh, I see. Okay. So what's the difference between yAcademy, college ventures, and school advisors? So yAcademy, we kind of start off as a younger team. All of us, we've went through kind of the same basic processes that all of these high school students have gone through. Me personally, I went to Lynbrook High School in the area. I went to San Jose State, which is also in the Bay Area. And then I graduated and started working in the industry as well in the Bay Area. We have a lot of mentors that have gone through very similar paths. The age range that our mentors are much closer in age to the students than a lot of other mentor services. And so that's kind of how yAcademy sticks out.
I would add in to that question. So another thing that we're so different from others is that when you go to a typical counselor, which all of us, our mentors have gone through before, they would not tell you, if you choose science major, what is your first job going to look like? And your daily routine at this specific position will look like, and that I think it's very different from the typical counselors because we're all here with a professional background in different fields, and we're able to give students an idea of the first few years after they graduate from college, no matter it's bachelor's, master's, or PhD. We all have that background in with our team. So that's something I do want to highlight because over time, people really don't think about the result that get them after they choose the specific major.
Yeah, I also want to add on to that too. I've taught a lot of students before, and a lot of them actually treat us kind of like role models. instead of we are their mentor, but they also can relate to us and they aspire to be similar to us, because they see the potential and it's much closer to what they can achieve. So that's kind of an additional topic. Okay, another question that we thought of was, I would like to help my child find their interests, but they're already overloaded with schoolwork, AP exams, and external courses. Do you have some thoughts about that, Agnes?
Yep. So basically, this question is we gathered from a parent, and he tried to like let us help his kid, but he's like, oh my gosh, she's already overloaded. She had so many external courses to take, homework to finish, and she need to attend a lot of AP exams. From our perspective, we think if you think your kids are already overloaded and no time to think about their interests, then it's a time for you to stop and think, what do they really want? I think before you just register them for tons of different classes, exams, competitions, it's really important to find where is their real interest. And then we just like find all the competitions, works related to that field which aligns with their interest. So you won't like just take the AP calculus, since everyone is join the robotics club because everyone is joining, but you are very dedicated at your own path.
Right. It's more about efficiency. So trying to understand what is required and doing the things that are required instead of trying to follow everybody else.
Yep.
Okay. Another question is, my child is only interested in gaming and I have no idea what he wants to study in college. How can yAcademy help him? Do you guys have any thoughts, Agnes, Irene?
Yeah, I think for this question, this is also a real question from our parent. I think if you think your kids are interested in gaming, then he already have an idea about at least a field, what he wants to like explore. So it could be like game design, it could be computer science, and then if you can send your kids to chat with us, we will use an interesting way to chat with him and understand what his real interest lies in. We will give him an evaluation from chatting with them. We can discuss like friends about the schoolwork they have, the clubs, their hobbies, and we can like help them design a tailored plan for your kid.
Exactly. Yeah, especially if they're interested in gaming, gaming requires a lot of critical thinking, even though it seems like it's just for fun. And we actually have a class where the students kind of transition from gaming concepts to computer science concepts, and it helps them transition that to an academic point of view. Okay.
I also wanted to add on to what Agnes said. When I was finding my passion for business, I was also very interested in gaming, and I didn't know how to relate to what I wanted to do. And I began looking at like different aspects. So for example, like gaming is not just about like engineering and coding. You can also look at like the business side of gaming and how like different games are marketed, and you can kind of tailor that to your own interests, because there are obviously a lot of different aspects with like just video games. It's not always just engineering or business. Like there's a lot of things that you can apply and see where your interests can match with the major.
Thank you for the input, Sean. So that's kind of the end of the Q&A questions that we have. Before we end, there's still opportunity for any of the parents or students in the audience to ask. If you're too shy to use your microphone, you can just type into the chat. You can also type in a different language if you want. We'll probably have someone that understands it.
I do have a question to ask.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, like for my kid, like she's like an introvert. So will that limit her choice of majors?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Actually, a lot of the mentors here, even though you see us presenting to a webinar, a lot of us are introverts. You see Irene smiling. So maybe we can have I don't know if Irene or Agnes, you guys have thoughts on that.
Yes. So I believe so. Right now, for many students in high school, they're more at the phase of finding themselves, their purpose, more wanting to isolate themselves from family and want to be by themselves, which is totally understandable. And all of us has been through that. And I think the best part about our team is we're very easily approachable. So we have been through it. And despite the fact that we might be young, but we can be a good role model to a student who might not be willing to share with their parents, but more willing to speak out to us because we might be more relatable and we share a similar experience. So by doing that connection, we're able to find your child's need and her passion through constantly engaging with them. We don't just say hi to the student and then just leave them by themselves after. We actually have that prolonged relationship with the student to make sure he or she is feeling consulted and guided by us.
Right.
And I want to add one more point. So you mentioned your kid is very introverted. And I think there's two common paths like for introverted people. The first one, she's very introverted, but as long as she finds her passion, she can talk about her field. She will be very confident and passionate in her field. I saw many people they don't talk a lot, but when it comes to their field, they start to talk endless. I think what the first part is about interest, and the second part is about the personality. So if your kid is very shy and she just doesn't enjoy from interact with a lot of people that much, I think the trick will be accept it and be who they will. There's a lot of careers designed for introverted people. They can be a software engineer, talk to computers. They can be an artist, just talk to their artwork. But I think the main point is first figure out which case is your kid really is, and second guide her to the real path. And if you have any interest, you can just send your kid to us, and we are more than happy to help her find her interest.
Yeah, part of yAcademy is developing the students' confidence, right? A lot of our classes talk about the variety of career majors that they can approach. And then once they kind of learn about that and they find their interest, they start gaining more confidence in themselves and they can start speaking to other people with confidence. Does that kind of answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do we have other parents of students that have questions?
I guess we cover all the points here. And Eric, do we have a slide for all the contact information?
Yes, we do. So I'll get to that in a second. Before we lose everybody, it'd be nice if you guys could put on the chat how you found us. Since we are a small kind of company, we tried to put the marketing message out, but it'd be nice to know how people understood, found us. So maybe in the chat or through email, you guys can let us know how you found out about the webinar. Okay, so like we mentioned before, we have a lot of different services to help students develop this confidence and figure out what their real passions are and figure out their why. So like Agnes said, and like you saw today, there are a lot of mentors that we have. These mentors will give one-on-one consultation, and they'll help these students develop their confidence, and they'll help draw out all their different passions. It definitely helps that our mentors went through the process and they've been through these schools and they work in the industry instead of just being a tutor and working as a tutor their whole lives. Most of them have actual jobs and they've gone through the career. We have free major and career tests. These tests and surveys we can give to the students, and the students can take them. And once they take them, they submit it to us. And from there, we can through the surveys, understand your student better, understand the student's strengths, their weaknesses, and kind of help tailor their experience and their passion to what fits them, right? And finally, we have a free major and career manual. This is basically a chart on if you're interested in a certain major, what kind of courses will you take? What kind of activities and competitions should you join to focus on these different majors, right? So we have some contact information. We have a WeChat group. We're trying to add more people to it, as well as a WhatsApp group. We have an email address you can email for any additional questions, and we also have a website. If you guys want, we can give our personal phone numbers to any of you. If you want to chat one-on-one, we're happy to talk to any of the parents to try to help fit your child's needs. Is there anything else you want to add, Irene or Agnes?
I think everybody, thank you everyone for coming today. It means a lot to us. And I wish you had learned something from Sean and Enan's experience today that can help your child to move on to their next step. And we're always here for you and your child. So feel free to add us. And with that, I would like to thank you again.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Yep. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the
you.
mentors.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, all the parents. Have a great weekend.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.